Hi, Pascal here again. Today I would like to talk about the very well hyped and talked about cyber security sector. I understand that in all the press we are talking about Greece, but cyber security is something that is pushing higher by the day. You can see here the new hack ETF. Okay, cute name for ETF. This ETF started in December of last year, in November of last year, and you can see that this is some kind of parabolic uptrend. What is interesting with this uptrend is that the 50 EMA seems to have been a good guide during the uptrend. You had different push here on high volume push, followed by a lower volume pullback. So, okay, maybe we could have a pullback starting here or starting from higher. We don't. Okay, so let's now look at this sector through the data of effective volumes. So I will open the database here. Let's scroll down. Security is inside of technology. I open technology and I will open here the software security. Okay, so it's a little bit out of my screen, but this is the general pattern. You see similar parabolic pattern. So let me crop this. I just did it a few minutes ago. Okay, it's here. So you have this parabolic pattern with this up and down money flow pattern. Okay, so when do you buy and when do you sell when you see this? It's rather simple. You buy when the money flow crosses above its average, especially and only when the average is below the zero line. Means that you are in oversold territory. At least you are below zero. So you buy here, you see. Okay, let's make this arrow straight. So you buy around here and then you sell once the money flow pulls back below zero. So you sell here. I put a red arrow, we sell here. Okay, so you have this uptrend. Okay, then it starts selling and then it's pushed back higher here, so you buy here again. You buy here. Okay, the arrow is not that straight. Maybe this one is should be like that. Okay. Okay, and so forth. Here, for example, you have a little pullback and a reversal. So this is a whipsaw. You have another whipsaw here. But in general, you go up, and you sell about here. Okay, you sell about here. So you see, you caught all this uptrend, you caught all that uptrend. Okay, if you sell here, you wait until these things come back up here. Of course, you have a whipsaw here. I'm sorry, it's here, the whipsaw. Okay, so you are buying here. Okay, wrong color. Let's put it green. Okay, and so forth. So what we can see here, we can continue this pattern here. What we can see on the right is that the money flow is pulling back. So it will most probably, because the trend is quite strong, it will most probably, like here, pull back below zero, and then you'll buy when it goes up again. Okay, so let's move back to the website. Here we are, and see what stock we could buy. So here I will access all the effective volume of all the stock in that sector. Okay, and you can see Simon Tech This is okay as an EV pattern, so it could be both on a pullback. Maybe it's a good place to buy here. Let's take note of Symantec. Checkpoint, it's really negative, so let's go down. And you see, usually I scroll all these stocks in a sector if I want to enter that sector. So VeriSign, it looks good also, it's bouncing back up. FTNT, okay, it's a little bit weak, you see. This is because of this kind of selling here that the money flow on the sector was down. NQ is basically that stock, so forget about it. Kihu, I don't know how to pronounce this, is a Chinese stock, so always be careful. This Palo Alto network, I think. This is quite good stock, very strong. Slightly pulling back here, so but it could break out again here. Nobody knows. Okay. So, and you go on. AVG, for example, same as Palo Alto. It's look here. It's at its top at a resistance level, but it's pulling back. It might break out at this point. So once I have done all this thing, what I do is to open the breakout calculator here and start looking at different stocks. For example, I just looked at AVG. Let's download it. It's a long trade. Okay, so I will put, for example, 200 days here. 2.5%. It's a breakout. I will just calculate a breakout for the last 200 days, and the price of the breakout will be higher than 28.39, which is the highest price of the past days. So 28.40, let's say. So let's calculate 28.4 as a breakout price. Okay, so we can see that we already found one good spot. So the risk return ratio is just above 2. It's okay. If we try it on a breakout on volume for the same price, it's much faster because you have less occurrence of this breakout on volume, but the risk return ratio is much better. And if we use the sensitivity analysis, we can see that we could buy a breakout up to basically 28.69. Above that, the risk return ratio becomes less interesting. Okay. What we can do as a second test is to test a breakout on volume, for example, with a higher stop. If I take 5% as a stop loss, we can see that the risk return ratio is still good. It's not as good, but it's still good. If I take 10 days as expected holding days, the risk return ratio increase because you give more space to the trade, and because also your stop is high, so everything is fine. And if you go back 500 days in the past, okay, this takes a little bit of time, of course. Okay, we can see that the risk return ratio is still positive, but it's less positive than before, which means that AVG is probably a stock that only recently pushed higher. So in conclusion, for the cyber security, I think some breakout could work, but the best is still to wait for the whole sector to pull back a little bit more so that the money flow goes below zero and then push higher. Okay, thank you, bye bye.